4 years ago, Cristiano Ronaldo gave him a warning.
Don't surprise me, but in the same way, it's a little bit shame.
Not about talent, not about fame, but about something far more dangerous. Alejandro Garnacho didn't listen, and now he's become exactly what he was warned about.
Do you have any regrets about the way things ended at Manchester United?
No.
Do you feel sad about how it finished?
No.
No regret. Not for the club that raised him, not for the fans who believed in him, not for the dream of becoming the next Cristiano Ronaldo.
And then Ronaldo! What a goal by Cristiano Ronaldo! Sensational!
Because just 2 years earlier, this was a different story. He wasn't just a talent, he was the future, the chosen one.
It's spread by Lindelof. Rashford face-to-face with Mikalenko. Dalot joining in from fullback. Dalot for Garnacho! Oh wow! Oh wow! That is one of the great goals! In front of a stunned Gladys Street! Special beyond special!
So how does a player go from Old Trafford's golden boy to the most disrespected name on the pitch? To understand the fall, we have to go back to the beginning, to the dream. At Manchester United, history doesn't just exist, it haunts. The shadow of greatness lives in the walls of Old Trafford, and for years the club searched for one thing, the next Cristiano Ronaldo. Then came Alejandro Garnacho. Young, fearless, electric. When he arrived from Atletico Madrid in 2020, he was just another academy prospect. But by 2022, everything changed. He didn't just play, he performed. FA Youth Cup hero, Jimmy Murphy Young Player of the Year, a winger who didn't pass backwards. And most importantly, he believed he was destined. He copied Ronaldo's celebration, studied his movements, even modelled his mentality, at least on the surface. And when he broke into the first team under Erik ten Hag, the hype exploded. Moments defined him. Late winner versus Fulham derby.
Garnacho with the attempt! Garnacho's got the winner! Alejandro Garnacho!
Impact fearlessness against elite defenders. Then came that goal. The overhead kick against Everton. A moment so perfect, it won the FIFA Puskas Award.
Dalot for Garnacho! Oh wow! Oh wow! That is one of the great goals! How has he plucked that one out?
At that point, fans weren't asking if he'd become world class. They were asking, how far could he go?
Alejandro Garnacho, how good was he?
We expect a lot from him.
Garnacho or Rooney?
Garnacho.
But behind the scenes, the man he idolised had already seen this story before. Because Cristiano Ronaldo himself had once been that young, explosive winger at United. But there was a difference. Ronaldo in his early years was flashy, yes. But he listened, he adapted, he suffered criticism, he stayed after training, and most importantly, he respected the hierarchy. Reports suggested Ronaldo gave Garnacho quiet advice.
It's the bigger mistakes of the players. They think they know everything and they don't learn more.
Talent is not enough. Discipline is everything.
Do you see the promise in the squad? Like, you look at their squad now, you look at Garnacho.
They don't depend only on the talent. It's more than that.
But Garnacho didn't fully absorb it. Because while Ronaldo used criticism as fuel,
you listen from one side and they go away from another side.
Garnacho began to see it as an attack. And that was the beginning of the divergence. Two players, same club, same dream. But one chose discipline, and the other was about to choose something very different. At first it was easy to ignore, because when a young player is delivering on the pitch, everything else feels irrelevant. But inside the dressing room, the story was changing. Bruno Fernandes hinted publicly. Garnacho didn't start early in the season, due to attitude issues. That wasn't normal. At a club like United, talent earns you a chance, but behaviour determines how long you stay. Small incidents began to stack up. Late arrivals, frustration in training, visible reactions when substituted. Then came social media. In modern football, that's where personalities are revealed. And Garnacho's online presence became unpredictable. He reportedly liked posts criticising Erik ten Hag.
Alejandro is a young player. He apologised for it.
Posted cryptic messages after being subbed. Shared moments that fans interpreted as frustration with the club. To him, it may have felt like expression. To the club, it looked like immaturity.
They have good players, but they don't have the mind what is Manchester United is.
Senior figures like Lisandro Martinez tried to guide him, but dressing rooms don't tolerate repeated patterns, because for every young star, there are 20 others waiting. And then came the deeper issue, reaction to criticism. Where Ronaldo stayed silent and worked harder, Garnacho reacted emotionally. Frustration became visible. Body language changed. Trust began to erode. And when that happens, managers notice, teammates notice, fans eventually notice. Because at Manchester United, talent gets you loved, but attitude determines if you stay loved. The goals were still coming, the highlights still viral, but behind the scenes, the patience was running out, and one moment would change everything. When Ruben Amorim arrived, everything changed. New system, new discipline, no exceptions.
They have to fight for the place in the team.
And for Garnacho, that was a problem, because for the first time in his career, he wasn't guaranteed. Then came the biggest night, the Europa League final against Tottenham Hotspur. He expected to start, he didn't. And what happened next defined his downfall. Instead of silence, instead of professionalism, he reacted. Reports described a pre-match social media post referencing past glory, visible frustration, emotional body language. After the game, he didn't hide it. In interviews, he questioned decisions, not directly attacking the manager, but enough to create tension.
He cares more about his own individual success than he does about the team.
Inside a top club, that's dangerous because managers can accept mistakes, but they cannot accept public dissent. Then it escalated. Family members reportedly entered the situation, defending him online, and suddenly, this wasn't just a player issue, it became a public narrative. Amorim acted fast. Garnacho was removed from first team dynamics. Not permanently at first, but clearly. A message. At 21, he still had everything. But in just a few weeks, he had lost the one thing that matters most at Manchester United. The fans. If there was any chance of redemption, it disappeared that summer, because what followed wasn't silence. It was escalation. Garnacho on holiday. Relaxed. Smiling. Wearing an Aston Villa shirt. With Rashford on the back. Referencing Marcus Rashford, another exile. To fans of Manchester United, that wasn't harmless, that was a message. A public alignment against the club. A final insult. August 30th, 2025. The announcement came. Garnacho to Chelsea. £40 million. A cut price exit for a player once valued as untouchable. United fans are used to players leaving. Legends have gone. Icons have moved on. But they are not used to this. They are not used to players mocking the club. On the way out, joining a direct rival like Chelsea wasn't just a transfer. It felt like a declaration of war. And just like that, the boy who was once seen as the future became a villain. He wanted freedom, he got it. But what he didn't realise was that freedom comes with consequences. And at Chelsea, reality was waiting. Stamford Bridge was supposed to be a new beginning, a reset. A place where Alejandro Garnacho could prove everyone wrong. Instead, it exposed everything. Under Liam Rosenior, Chelsea demanded structure, discipline, positional awareness, tactical obedience. The exact things Garnacho struggled with. And suddenly, he wasn't the star anymore. He was a rotation player, a super sub. The very role he rejected at United had followed him to London. The numbers told the truth. At United, 2023/24. Goals rising, assists consistent, influence growing. At Chelsea, 2025/26. Limited minutes, inconsistent impact, struggles against low block defences. The explosiveness was still there, but the decision-making, the discipline, missing. Then came the moment that defined his Chelsea spell, when Michael Carrick led Manchester United to a statement win over Arsenal at the Emirates. It shocked the league. A disciplined, organised United. A team reborn. Garnacho responded. Before Chelsea's clash with Arsenal, he reportedly said, "If Manchester United can beat them there, we can do it perfectly." It was meant to sound confident, defiant, but reality hit hard. FA Cup, Chelsea versus Arsenal. Garnacho started on the bench, again. And as Arsenal defeated Chelsea, he watched, powerless, the same story, different club. Then came the final blow. Lionel Scaloni made his decision. No discipline, no structure, no place in the squad. Garnacho was dropped from the Argentina national team. The World Cup dream fading. At Manchester United, he lost the fans. At Chelsea, he lost his place. And now, he was losing his future. Two images, side by side. On one side, Michael Carrick, calm, composed, laughing with Kobbie Mainoo after beating Arsenal. A young team, disciplined, united. On the other, Alejandro Garnacho. Walking alone, head slightly down, in a Chelsea shirt. No noise, no connection, no belonging. As Carrick quietly rebuilds Manchester United into a team built on discipline, identity, and hunger, Garnacho becomes something else. A warning. Not of failure, but of wasted potential. Because the talent was never the problem. It never was. He had the speed, the skill, the confidence. He had everything needed to become the next Cristiano Ronaldo. But he didn't follow the same path. Ronaldo listened. Garnacho reacted. Ronaldo adapted. Garnacho resisted. Ronaldo respected the badge. Garnacho challenged it. In football, the name on the back of the shirt builds your brand, but the name on the front builds your legacy. Garnacho chose the first and lost the second. Because years from now, when people talk about what went wrong, they won't start with tactics, or managers, or transfers. They'll start with one question. What if he had just listened? Be honest, did Chelsea make a mistake signing Garnacho? Will Alejandro Garnacho rise again? Or has football already moved on without him? Let me know in the comments.